You've been here before, lying awake, not because something terrible has happened, but because your mind thinks it might. That's the trap, not reality, but imagination. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca, the Stoics, understood something we still haven't mastered. That your worst enemy isn't the storm outside, it's the storm inside. How many hours have you lost worrying about what could happen? How much energy have you spent fearing things? That never came to pass. You fought battles in your head that never even made it to the real world. The mind is a powerful tool, but a dangerous one when left unchecked. You imagine the rejection before you even ask. You rehearse the argument before it even begins. You grieve losses that haven't even happened yet. This is what Seneca was warning us about. You are predicting pain and then suffering from it twice, once in your mind, and maybe again in real life. But here's the secret most people never realize. You can't control what might happen. You can only control how you respond when it does. While the world rushes to panic, the Stoic chooses stillness. They don't ignore the problem, they prepare, but they do not panic. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Marcus Aurelius' chaos is nothing new. What matters is what you bring into it. Do you bring panic, fear, anxiety, or do you bring preparation, control, and peace? Stillness is strength, and it begins by shutting down the imagination, not feeding it with fear. Fear isn't just a reaction, it's a habit, a mental groove you keep running in. You've rehearsed disaster so much it's become your normal, but habits can be broken, and it begins with awareness. Catch the thought, challenge it, ask, is this real or is it just imagined? Most of the time the enemy isn't life, it's your imagination's worst-case scenario. The Stoics practiced premeditation of evils, not to scare themselves, but to desensitize the fear. They'd imagine the worst and then accept it. Why? Because once you accept the worst, you're free to do your best. If your mind is the battlefield, you need tools to win. Here are 3 Stoic practices to master the chaos. Premeditatio malorum. Imagine the worst, not to panic, but to prepare. Journaling. Write the fear down, get it out of your head and onto the page. Most fears shrink when you put them under a microscope. Present moment focus, ask, what can I do right now? Not tomorrow, not in a month, right now. That's where your power lives, in the present. You don't need to think your way out of everything. You need to act your way out of some things. The Stoics weren't philosophers of words, they were philosophers of action. They lived with courage, with control, with clarity. They didn't wait for the storm to pass, they stood still in it. And because they did, well, they suffered less. Not because the world was easier, but because their minds were stronger. You've imagined enough disasters. Now imagine peace. You've suffered enough in your head. Now suffer less by mastering it. You are not your fear. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the controller, the calm in the chaos. Let the storm rage. You'll remain still. Because now, you know the truth. We suffer more in imagination than in reality.